Hello everyone. It is somehow already the end of January and I thought it would be the perfect time to get some knitting plans in because I really do want to have a kind of a structure to what I want to do this year. I did the same last year and it actually worked out really well. On the one hand it was a bit ambitious, I definitely didn't get everything done that I planned to originally do, but it really does help me as a type of guideline rather than something more strict. So yeah, I thought I'd do the same for this year and I have a few categories of things that I think I want to make. So there are some sweaters, some cardigans and vests and tops and some accessories. Now again, this is a guideline. The chances that I'm going to perfectly follow this plan are very slim. That's also not the point. I really just wanted to have some fun and have a look at, yeah, the patterns that I'm looking forward to maybe trying to make. So yeah, let's get into my list here. I do want to mention that the chances that there might be some overlap with my creative plans for autumn and winter are very real because honestly I haven't changed my mind that much and some things will be coming back here. So yeah, we'll see. So for my first category I had cardigans. I think I made my first two cardigans this year. And I honestly don't know why I don't have any more in my collection because I do really enjoy wearing them. So I have a few on my list here, but the first one isn't actually one for me, that's a gift knit. It's the Amelie cardigan by Mochiknits. I did mention it before I think already, and I have actually started it now. That is a gift knit for my sister-in-law. I already had the yarn last year. I was just waiting for the pattern to relaunch because I think the maker was updating some things here and there, so it had been offline for a while and then now it came back online and I started it somewhere in the first week of January and I'm actually already, I think I almost finished the body and I'm going to start on the sleeves so that she can try it on and see if the sleeve and the body length are right for her. But yeah, that's going really well. I have always really wanted to make just a really classic cabled cardigan. I got inspired by an image that I found online, I think almost 3 years ago now, but I was never able to find if it was based on a pattern or even who made it. So I just went looking for other cable patterns, cardigans, and yeah, I found a few that I think I would like to make. So for instance, I have the classic cable cardigan that I really like the look of. But yeah, I'm not really too strict on what pattern exactly I'm going to follow, but I probably will start with looking into this one and seeing how it suits what I want to make. Another cardigan that I have on my list here is the Emerald Lake cardigan. It's a free pattern by Drops. I found it when I was just going through all of Drops's patterns because I've often found ones in there and there are others in the list as well, I think, yeah. Of sweaters and cardigans that I really like, and they're free, so that's always a good bonus. But I really like the look of this, maybe in a dark green, but I'm just going to see if I feel the need to actually own this garment before making it, so I'll see if it ends up being made. The next cardigan, or I guess more of a jacket that I would really love to make, is the Drift jacket. It's a pattern by Hoyle. I think I saw it on a Ravelry page, or I think someone else shared it at one point. I just loved the look of it. I think the structure with the neck and just the cables is really stunning. I love how it looks. And I thought it would be a nice idea to actually hand spin yarn to make this cardigan or this jacket. I still have a ton of alpaca wool and merino to blend it with, and I did so for one of the other patterns that I'm planning to make, but I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to try and spin the yarn to the right weight to make that pattern. We'll see how it goes, but that's the plan. Otherwise I will be just buying the recommended yarn, I think. But yeah, I love how this looks. The plan is right now to make it in a black brownish colour, but we'll see what actually ends up happening. The last cardigan that I have on my list is the Hanni cardigan by Knitters and Friends, or maybe the cardigan number 11 by My Favourite Things knitwear. which I don't think the pattern has launched yet. I think they're in the testing phase right now. Both of those cardigans are just really good basics. I think that's a general trend in my plans right now, is that I noticed the past year that I was just missing a few basics in my wardrobe that I would like to make. So either one of those cardigans, just pretty simple with stockinettes, will be one I hopefully make this year. Now, continuing on to the sweaters that I would like to make. I already started one, and that is the Countryside Road sweater. It's a drops pattern and it is actually free as well. I have started knitting that one. Actually, while I was away with friends, we visited the seaside. We were there for a weekend and it was so much fun. I just brought my knitting and started on that and just swatching it up and then starting on the ribbing. I'm knitting that in my handspun yarn, the one that I mentioned before. It's the alpaca yarn that I mixed with merino in a white beigey shade, which honestly, the way I spun it, it just kind of looks like a marshmallow. That's all it reminds me of when I look at it. But yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm just struggling a bit to see if the gauge is exactly what I want, so I might be changing up some things about the pattern, but so far so good. I'll see how it goes, and fingers crossed that I have enough yarn, because that is my biggest fear right now. I've spun so much of it. I have like 9 big balls, but still I feel like I might not have enough to knit the whole sweater. We'll see, but I probably will be filming that process, and you'll see it here at a later date. Now, going back to my lists, another sweater that I really wanted to try to make is the Winter's Pullover by Ozetta. I would probably make it in the recommended yarn. I think it's the Istex. I'm not sure. Anyway, I've seen this one everywhere. I feel like a lot of people have made it. But I honestly love Ozetta patterns. I think they're very clear and the clothes are so pretty in the end. And I've noticed that just the past few years I've really wanted a good turtleneck, and I haven't been able to find one to buy second hand or first hand at a sustainable store, so I figured I might as well make one. And again, it would be such a good basic. In an ideal world, I would still make it so I can wear it at the end of winter now, but probably more realistically it'll be a project for autumn winter, so the next autumn and winter and not this one, because it's already the end of January, so I pretty much have February and a bit of March to still do some winter knits. If I want to get enough wear out of it, it's probably going to be something that I postpone until probably September, October, but we'll see. Another pattern that I've mentioned before is the Winnie sweater by Woozy by Céline. I still really love this pattern. I was just really, the only reason I didn't make it sooner yet was because I wasn't sure on what yarn I wanted to use. I looked at a lot of the projects on Ravelry to like get an idea of what I wanted to do, and I just honestly haven't figured it out yet. Now I'm leaning towards doing a bit, I think probably a cream coloured one, just because again it would be a really good basic and I feel like I could use that in my wardrobe. But there's a part of me that really wanted to use the, I think it was the brushed alpaca yarn in like a purpley plum colour, but I cannot find that yarn anywhere. So I kind of waited to decide just in case I might find the yarn somewhere, but I haven't so far, and every time I've looked it's just been, yeah, I haven't had any success. So I think I might just go with like a cream coloured one, and then if I like the pattern I can still remake it in a different colour later. But I would really enjoy making a purple sweater. I don't know why all of a sudden that idea seems so attractive to me. I think it's a part of my inner child that loved the colour purple that I really just want to bring it back now, but we'll see. Another sweater on my list that's actually a gift knit, but also kind of not, is the Handsome Crisp Pullover. It's by Caryn Shaffer, and it's a free pattern, and I really want to make it for my husband. I promised I would make him another sweater this year. I cannot remember, I didn't make one for him last year, but I did the year before, and I really wanted to make this one because I think it would suit him very well. and it's just like a classic timeless sweater. I've seen it everywhere online again, but I think it's a really lovely pattern to make. And then honestly the benefits are that I can wear it too, and I think, yeah, that would be lovely. I'm probably going to make it in the Drops Lima because I made his previous sweater in that yarn and he's worn it so much and he loves how it wears, so that's ideal. It's also not that expensive then because you do need a lot of yarn for it, I believe. So that's definitely a project that I do plan to start still this winter, just because I want to have it ready for him sooner rather than later. The Aegyoknit sweater is one that still haunts me to this day in the best possible way. I've been wanting to make this for years and years. It is by November Knit. I say years and years, but probably just since it was published because I'm not actually sure when it was published. But I've seen this sweater everywhere. Actually, my best friend made it as well because I'd recommended, well, I'd said I wanted to make it and then she was like, hey, do you mind if I do too? Obviously, no. It's such a stunning sweater, and the only reason I haven't made it yet is because the yarn I wanted to use wasn't in stock. So I did get a notification that it was back in stock now. I want to make it with Knitting for Olive yarn, and specifically I will be copying Katie Snooks's version. I saw her YouTube video of it, I saw the project on Ravelry, and I thought that's just exactly what I want. I have been in need of a like simple grey sweater, again, the basics in my wardrobe, and this would be the elevated basic that I would really love. So I will be making the order with a few other yarns in this plan for Knitting for Olive yarn very soon, so then I can get started on it. A more recent find that I am considering is the Cloud Sweater by Petite Knit. It is again a very popular pattern, I feel. I've seen it everywhere, and at first I kind of dismissed it because I feel like it looks a bit similar to the Woozy by Céline. I just said the name and now I can't think of it. It's in my list. The Winnie sweater, of course, yeah. I feel like those two are pretty similar, so I just thought, oh, I'm just probably not going to make it. But then when I was randomly at a coffee place in my hometown, I saw someone wear this green sweater with white lettering on it, and I thought it was stunning, and I immediately thought, I want to get a sweater like that and I'll see if I can make one. And I just started looking on Pinterest for something similar, and I came across the Dairy Boy pattern. I can't remember the exact name of the sweater. Anyway, I'll post it here. And while I do think it's a really pretty sweater, I don't know the brand. I think it's shipped from the US. I don't know anything about sustainability, so I'd rather try to make something more similar to the sweater that I saw in that coffee place and the girl that was wearing it. I should have just asked her where she got it, but I thought this was a good base to start thinking on. And when I was looking at patterns that could maybe work, and I won't be using the same words on the sweater, I still have to think of what I want the writing to be then. But I thought the Cloud sweater would actually really work for this. And then I remembered that I had said that I would really like to make something out of the Concept by Katja Merino Baby yarn. I have used it before, and I saw they had this lovely dark green, and it just was the perfect circumstance to use that, I think, to make a sweater. So I still have a ball of yarn of that left, so I will be testing the gauge before buying the sweater quantity of yarn for that project. But I just really wanted to make something similar to this, but I didn't want to put my money into something that might not even be the quality that I would like. So that is a pretty new plan in my head. We'll see if I still want to make that when the time comes, but I do think it would be really lovely to just have like a dark green with white letters on it. There's another sweater that I have had saved in my Pinterest for years as well that also has like something, it looks like duplicate stitch, it may be in Tarja, I'm not sure, with text on it that I've also loved for ages, but it's way too expensive for me to buy. So I've been playing with the idea of making sweaters like that, so this would be a good opportunity to do so. The last sweater that I have here is also a new find. It's the Sarang sweater by Aegyoknit. I have no idea how to pronounce that. My apologies. I just love the look of this. Again, it's a pretty classic looking sweater, except for the lovely, lovely details on there. I do really want to make almost an exact copy of that, but I probably won't be going with recommended yarn just because it's so expensive. I don't know if I want to pay that amount of money just for one sweater. I'll have a look and see how I feel about it later when I actually get to making it. But yeah, I love this design. It's just so pretty. I was actually just going through the site with all her patterns, and honestly I would make every single one of them, but this was just another that jumped out to me. So moving on to the next category that I have here is the vests and the tops. I've wanted to make a Maggie vest for quite a while. It's a Petite Knit pattern. I think the recommended yarn is the Sandnes Garn Double Sunday, or is it just the Sunday? I don't know. I really like the look of this. I think it would be a good staple item. I would consider making it in a dark colour that I can just pop it on top of things. I am very happy with my novice slipover that I made, but I did make it in this very bright green. I think it's the Double Sunday Matcha green. I think it's stunning, but honestly I don't wear it as much as I could, just because it's very bright and I feel like it's just such a lovely springtime colour, but it just doesn't match with all my clothes. So I want to make a more neutral vest. And yeah, I'd seen this one pass by and I thought it would be a good option to make. The next pattern that I have is actually one I mentioned before as well. I think in my stash busting video, but also maybe earlier, I'm not sure. But it is the Ilana camisole by Masha Patterns. I actually bought the yarn from Knitting for Olive for a different pattern, a camisole by My Favourite Things, I think, which I still love. I still love that pattern, but I made it before. I accidentally shrunk it in the wash and I decided that I wanted to make another one, but when I ordered the yarn, it's just the normal merino. The colour was just a bit more washed out than I thought it would be. I really wanted to have it in this deep dark red, and it just turned out to be a bit more, yeah, stone red. I don't know if that's even a thing, but anyway, I thought I would change my mind about the pattern because I think it would serve a more detailed top rather than just a plain camisole, even though I still love the camisole pattern. And then I found the Ilana camisole and I thought that would probably work really well with it. So I plan to make that in spring so I can wear it at the end of spring and summer. I know it'll probably take a while to make, but I do look forward to trying out that new pattern. The last top that I wanted to mention that I would really love to make is the Ophelia top by Starcrossed Knits. I have already made the Ophelia blouse last year. I love it. I think it's stunning. I can't wait to wear it more when it gets a bit warmer again. I was really doubting whether I would put it back on my list, but I've seen the photo pass by so many times now of the longer sleeve version in the cream colour, and I love it so much, and I have thought of nothing else for weeks and weeks now, and every time I see it pass by I'm like, I need this. I really, really want to make it. I think it would just be lovely to have in my wardrobe. While I do know that I might not entirely enjoy making it because the pure silk it was fine to work with, it just wasn't my favourite yarn to work with, but it's just so comfy that it's entirely worth it. But yeah, I think that's definitely one that I want to make, or rather I want to have, so I will be making. And honestly, the pattern really was enjoyable to follow. It was just a really big project to make. Now, the last things that I have on my list are some accessories, some socks, some hats. No big surprises really, because I've mentioned a few already. The first is the Bisous scrunchies by Camille K, I think. Yeah, it's a free pattern. I have to admit, I made one of the scrunchies, I think in my stash busting episode. I'm mentioning the pattern here, but I didn't actually follow it. It's just I saw the image and I thought I can do something similar. I'm not even entirely sure if I mentioned it in the stash busting video because I didn't actually use the pattern, but this is a good example of what I did and what I will be making more of. So I already made one, I am going to make more. I really love it, it looks really good. But yeah, I just used it to gauge how I would start, and I ended up using a different amount of stitches cast on, a different centimetre in like width of the thing, and I use a different method to cast it off as well. So I really didn't follow the instructions, but I do think those instructions are clear. I just didn't feel like doing it that day. But yeah, I do think it's a good pattern, and I'll be making more of those, definitely. Another one that I won't be saying too much about because I've mentioned them before are the Hexisocks by Natalia Morieva. I still really want to make them. I just am having trouble finding the yarn for some reason, so I might just go into a local yarn store and just find whatever works for these, because I just think they're really fun and I would love to make another pair of socks, so we'll see. I have the Simple Knit Hood as my next pattern on my list. By Lia Lykke, I think, yeah. I really want to make it from leftover yarn that I still have in my stash. I think I have some drops, Lima or Peru, I'm not sure, I always mix up those two, and some mohair left over, so in a black and a grey colour, which I think would be really lovely as a hood. And even if I don't wear it much, I think my husband would, because he really likes a hood style hat. So that's on the list as well. I'm pretty sure it's definitely not an expensive pattern, so that would be an easy way to get rid of some leftover yarn. And then my last pattern that I have on here is the Sugarloaf Shrug by Stone Stitches, and that's also a free pattern. I just think this looks really comfy, and I think I would love wearing something like this in winter, or even just in a warmer season, but that you just want to throw something on. I think it looks really cute, and yeah, I think it would be a handy accessory to make. And definitely if I don't feel like doing something really complicated with my knitting, I think I'll pick up one of these accessories to make, and this is a really good contender for that. So yeah, there we have it. That's about, I think, 19 patterns, which is obviously very ambitious, and I don't think I will be making everything on the list. But I did have fun compiling it nonetheless, and I'm looking forward to getting back into knitting a bit more. Like I said, took it really easy in January, just going with the flow of the season really, and just taking it easy in every way. But now that the days are getting a bit longer again and I feel a bit more energy coming back, I am looking forward to making a bit more things again, and just, yeah, putting some tempo behind it as well. So I will be working on the Countryside Road sweater with my handspun yarn. I'll be finishing the Amelie cardigan. I don't think I'll be filming it because it's not that much work anymore, and it is a gift knit. And then afterwards I'll have to decide what my next project will be, but I am really looking forward to getting started on everything and seeing how it goes. I'm really curious to see what other people make as well, so if you have any suggestions or a pattern that you think like, oh, I can't wait to make this, please do let me know. I have had such lovely comments already. I really want to say thank you for that. I honestly really wanted to make YouTube videos just for the community aspect of it, and I've had such lovely comments and messages already, and I also wanted to say thank you for everyone who's subscribed so far. I really love having a little community here and having people to chat with about creative things. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and engaging and subscribing, and I'll see you soon.